Well, there goes Martha and the Muffins there, and for what it's worth, there's the cover, there's the song from the latest from Martha and the Muffins. And look, Mark, you're back. What do you have in your hand there?
Well, hold on.
Let's do a countdown with AVA, right? So somebody count.
Joe,
you were looking for a book the last time we talked to you.
Now,
you ran upstairs to get a book.
Everybody's so excited. It's Rick Rubin. Is that who we're talking about? Okay, okay. So now it's a Rick Rubin book that you say everybody needs to be aware of and read. We're gonna do a reveal because Ava thinks she has the same exact book. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It's the same one.
All right. Okay. So tell us about the book. What book is this, and why do we all need to read it?
Well, Ava probably has her take on it, of course, but I never remember the exact title, right? So it's The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I think there's 78 chapters that are very short, and they deal with all aspects of the creative life. Some of it you probably know if you're an artist. You go, yeah, I knew that since I was 4. But there's other things that he touches, and it'll be different for everybody, but he touches upon all aspects of creativity. I come from a certain age that so I've done a lot of things in my artistic life. Ava's obviously much younger, so she would probably have a different perspective on some of this. So let's hear what you have to say. Ava, take it over.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this is actually full circle because remember I was talking about the song 99 Problems But a Bitch Ain't One?
Yeah.
I think Rick Rubin produced that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to put myself to shame here in front of Mark, but I only read 3 chapters of the book.
You didn't even get through the chapter. Oh, no.
That's how many I've read.
That's how many of you read. Hey, you and Martha on par with each other.
So you have read.
You read the most.
Okay, but you can dip in.
Well, I like about the book is that basically you can kind of just open it and just read from anywhere. But he talks a lot about. Go on, Martha.
Sometimes I just can't get the energy to read. But if I want a short read, I read Rick Rubin.
Yeah. Look at that. And we're talking about full circle. There's even a full circle on the cover.
This is why I have to start a cult.
Yeah, there you go. Another cult. But I think it's good for a lot of people, and maybe for people that are just starting out. I mean, in theory, the older you get and the longer you've been making stuff, the more confident you are. Now, I had great parents that thought, and I come from an artistic background, with grandparents and my mother. And so I never grew up with that. But when I was in art college, I was astounded by the number of people who said, my parents don't want me to be here. So how would that help your self-esteem, right? And when you're younger, you do have doubts. And I'm just saying, this book might be good for those of us who are just starting out or younger, because Rick has obviously had enormous success. He's a really creative guy. And, if he can shed any light on this mysterious act,
let's call him up.
Call him up.
Just call him up, yeah.
We're just talking about you.
Yeah, I think his number's in here somewhere,
It's on between pages 70 and 83.
That's right.
I love that.
This is not conspiracy theory start. I'm sorry.
Great.
I feel like now I have this understanding of the book. I'm going to go back and actually read something. I mean, some of the chapters are a little bit esoteric and mystical because it's all about certain ways you collect your references or your inspiration, and then how you're, in certain process, the art, he's very process oriented, I get the sense. So it's this is the beginning of the creation, right? And then there's kind of the refinement part of the creation, right? And then, but that's what I've gleaned, but I definitely have to go back and read it. Thanks so much for bringing this up, Mark. This is awesome.
There's a film about him as well. That's really, really good.
Oh, well, which film? Because there's a there was a series about a studio in Shangri-La, right?
Shangri-La.
Ooh, Shangri-La.
Which was like around Malibu somewhere. And he interviewed a lot of artists, and you got a sense of his whole process. And I mean, we've worked with some great producers, but if I were able to, I would love to work with him. He'd be on our number
Same.
one, both of us. Yeah. You too, Ava? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much same. Or up there among producers I'd love to work with.
And
I'm like,
no,
Well, I've got a surprise for you. No, I'm just kidding. Who's in the green room? It's Rick.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I would love to do that, but boy, it's really fun hearing creatives talk about creativity. We can go on and on about it. And boy, that book. Now I need to get it. But let's talk about where you guys are at currently. Now, what are you doing, Martha, with this? Are you touring the song? How do we? What's next for the? What's the year looking like?
Well, the touring thing is the touring thing is not going to happen because of my health. I haven't got the stamina and strength to do a show, and but I keep busy with a lot of other things.
Oh, cool.
You want me to
Yeah,
say?
explain.
Okay. Well, we actually have a busy year. And to continue with Martha's, what she was probably about to say was she wrote kind of a wonderful song called Slow Emotion with another person with Parkinson's that we're going to make a short film about that shows that with a diagnosis of PD, your life doesn't end. And everybody in this little film contributed toward the song. They all have Parkinson's except her neurologist, who thought of this idea in the first place. And he's quite an accomplished pianist. And who else? I guess me. We're the only people without Parkinson's. But the song turned out really well. And we got one of Toronto's major research institutes at the United Health Network in Toronto, and also Parkinson Canada on board to fund it. So,
cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we're hopefully to get that out during Parkinson's Awareness Month in April. So that's one thing.
And the lyrics are not obvious. It's not like that's.
They're interior.
Yeah.
They're not like an anthem, like, oh, we're all going to do this together and blah, blah, blah. We're trying to avoid those cliches. But and interestingly, a lot of people who were involved in it found it quite moving because it sort of expressed their interior feelings about what it's like to have this. So that's one thing. Then for 25 years, I've been working on an instrumental project, not constantly, but it's an instrumental album based on plant names.
He's an
Gardener, but it's called Garden.
What type of names?
Well, what I did, Ava, was the first step 25 years ago was to go on the internet and all my gardening books and find interesting common plant names. So, for instance, like Love Lies Bleeding, Feverfew, Johnny Jump Up.
Those are all plant names?
Yeah, they're all plant names.
Baby's Breath.
Baby's Breath. And then the next step was like, what would those sound like? With no no ideas ahead of time. So I basically worked intuitively. So in 22, in the middle of COVID, I thought if this doesn't get done, if I don't finish it now, it'll never be done. So I spent most of 2022 doing that. So it will be out when I get my website done.
I think a lot of us have projects like that. Like, if we don't get this done now, we're never going to finish it. Yeah. You know what? For me, it was starting this podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh, and you did.
And
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's a few more, but I'll end with this one. We've been working with a bunch of younger female songwriters doing work on an album of breakup songs. And all of them.
And this is the real reason we brought you on, Ava. So we can interview you. and you can
No.
get to work.
They're all very different. You know, all the songs are very different and reflect the individual abilities. But I think once we get enough songs, we'll be putting that out too. So there you
They
go.
need more songs about bitches. So Ava, there you go.
Yeah.
We need
Oh
more
my
songs.
God. This actually this is great because like remember Barry and Joe last time we were on? I just started a relationship and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but now like it's not it's on the rocks. Like we're on a we're on a 1 month break. So this is like yeah, no, but it's all I mean it's all good. We're learning, we're
It's
experiencing.
all coming
blah, blah.
together. Oh, serendipity.
But I like that. You know what, Ava? That's a great title. We're on a 1 month break, or that's the first line. There you go.
Yeah, we're on a 1 month break. So if you need any inspiration, Mark and, and Martha,
we're gonna plug you guys together, email and back and forth. It's gonna be fantastic work. This is what Barry does. He's a connector.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just happy y'all are on here for the ride. I'm glad you're making music. I'm glad you're out there doing stuff and staying creative and staying inspirational. And thank you guys so much for coming on tonight.